Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a player review I have for you chaps. Now, on the chopping table today, we have the informed Soldado. He's obviously plays for Valencia and is from Spain, so he works really well in a lot of squads. You know, you'll be able to find most of the time, you can find some sort of Spanish connection within your team, and he just really works well in quite a lot of squads. And let's take a look at their pricing at the moment. On the Xbox, he goes for 39,000, and on the PS3, 43,000. I mean, those are actually, that's actually a relatively cheap inform. For an 85 rated inform, that is pretty cheap. And I think he goes quite under the radar for most people. Not many people think about him because his pace isn't really up there. But his weak foot is only 3-star, and his skills, unfortunately, is only 3-star skills as well. As much as I wish they were 4, they are unfortunately only 3. But let's take a look at the trading graphs for both Xbox and PS3. A lot of times with the high-end informs, you'll notice that they, as soon as they come out, they cost an absolute bomb. They'll drop down in price very quickly over the space of a week, and then they'll start to settle at a certain price, but then they'll start to maybe head back up in price again. But with this particular inform Soldado, what's happened is he's gone down in price, and then he's just gonna stay there. I can't see his price rising too much anytime soon. On the Xbox and PS3, obviously very similar sort of graph, nothing too different. Not like one player, not like the price is suddenly starting to hike or anything like that. It's just stayed pretty neutral. So I've decided I'd like to show you guys the sort of team I've been playing Soldado in. So I played him in a 3-5-2 non-rare Spanish side. I believe this is also the team I played Torres and Callum in. But I quite like this setup. It's really good. I just love this team in general, just this non-rare Spanish side. I decided to put Soldado in there when I was trying him out, testing him out, just to get a feel for how good he is, you know, what his strengths are, things like that. And I feel as though he may have actually worked out better in a 4-3-3 because he is that sort of player. He's the sort of player that more of a target man in anything. As you guys can see, his dribbling is actually pretty solid, and he does a great job of just dancing around the defenders and firing that into the back of the net. With that said, his shot is good. He's got a solid shot. I wouldn't say it's anything to brag about. He doesn't have, that's not a big feature about him in my opinion. Don't get me wrong though, he does do certain things really well, and one of those is heading the ball. That's probably the most impressive thing for him in my opinion. I feel as though in the air he is just so dominant really. As you guys can see, he does only have 81 pace. I believe that's an upgrade from 79 from his normal card. But he seriously is really good when it comes to being in the air. His heading ability is just fantastic. 9 out of 10 times he will get it on target. I mean, I notice a lot of attackers this year aren't that great at heading. The center backs are good at heading, but not necessarily the strikers. But Soldado works perfectly well, and I feel as though in a 4-3-3 with some good wingers that are willing to cross the ball in and are able to, you know, supply him nicely with some good cross, I feel as though he would do a fantastic job. So let's talk a little bit more about Soldado himself. Soldado, like I said, his dribbling is good. He's good at maneuvering himself around defenders. Like I said, he doesn't have that change of pace to burst past defenders, but when he's in and around the box, he actually does a fantastic job. One of the biggest issues for me was actually getting him on the ball in the first place. One of the things you actually have to do with Soldado is maneuver him to the point where he doesn't drop so far back. He's very prone to dropping really far back and then having to make these really deep runs. And although that is good at times, when he's so good at heading the ball, I feel as though he needs to just be in the box when I'm there. Sometimes he'll just be chilling around the outside of the box, and that can be great sometimes, but a lot of the times I feel as though I miss a lot of opportunities. But that could just be down to my playstyle. But like I said, you know, when he is around the box, he is just magnificent. His finishing abilities is great. You know, he will do a good job of making sure the ball gets into the back of the net if you give it to him. He scores some very awkward goals that most other players wouldn't be able to score, you know, in certain positions. He's good at just turning and shooting. That's a prime example there, just as I speak of it. The goal manages to show it, you know. He doesn't have to have this big run up to shoot like a lot of players do, you know. Prime example of that is Alexander Pato. You know, he really has to get a bit of space in front of him if you want to ping it long range, whereas he just needs a couple small touches in the box and you'll find that he can bury it home. And that's a really attractive part of having him on your team, is that you would really want to pair him up with someone with quite a bit of pace. If you have two players who have you know, around the 80 pace marker, I think you really will struggle to be creative, because he's not the sort of creative player that will make something happen. He's just there to finish the product once something's been made, if you know what I mean. So guys, I hope you have all enjoyed this video. I hope that I've kind of given you some insight into Soldado. Would I say he's worth it for the money? Absolutely. I mean, for 39,000 and 43,000, both on the Xbox and PS3, that is just, it's a bargain, really, I think. I mean, it really has to suit your certain playstyle, but honestly, I'd love to see someone try him out in a 4-3-3, because that's when I think he would be best. I hope you guys have all enjoyed this video, and if you did, then leaving a like is always much appreciated. That's the best way to, like, show your appreciation and things, and if you have anything to say about this video, then obviously leaving a comment is appreciated. I really do enjoy reading them and kind of striking up a discussion if necessary. Like I said, guys, if you enjoyed it, leave a like, and until then, I'll catch you all in a little bit. Bye-bye.